some of my family, they're like, oh, so you're almost done with this new one. So then you're done, right? And that's it. And I said, no, this is actually my life now. I'm an investor.
Hey, this is Niti, and what you're about to hear today is a very special episode with one of the members from our portfolio program.
We call these Sensei sessions. These interviews are designed to give you a perspective about what you can achieve with the right strategies and execution.
I hope you enjoy this episode, and for free resources, check out our show notes section to see how you can build and scale your portfolio.
And welcome everyone to another fabulous Sensei session. It's your opportunity to learn how portfolio program graduates are growing their real estate portfolio and their wealth. I'm your host, Cheryl Tan, and today you're in for a treat. We get to hear from Kelly Tenorio and hear how she's taken the lessons from the portfolio program to grow exponentially her real estate portfolio. So Kelly, welcome to Sensei Sessions. It's great to talk with you today.
Great. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
Let's start off with just a little bit of an introduction to you. Please tell us what you do, where you live, and like what you do for a living, where you live, and how you got interested in real estate investing.
Okay. So I live now in Stafford, Virginia. I am an interior designer. I've been one for 15 years. So that's kind of how I got into, I want to do real estate because I've been doing it for so many people for so long. And then I got the itch for, let me try to find this myself. So I'm hungry to make more money for generational wealth. So that was kind of how I got it started. And I invest in Baltimore.
How did you find Palak and Niti?
So I actually found her on Facebook. And I found some ads and I was like, oh, this is scary, but I'm doing it. And I signed up for it. And you're just like, should I do it? But honestly, it's amazing. Like you need mentors in your life for coaching and business and everything. So
all of it. Exactly. Let's start with what you have been able to pull together from the lessons you've learned.
We have 7 doors today. It's only been 18 months since we started our first one. So I know I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's amazing. So we have, we had our primary house. So we found a duplex. And again, I was scared to death, but I just did it, jumped on it, found a team. And that was our first one, was a duplex. So I moved to a property that had a detached garage and I made it into a guest house. And that's another, we can get into that. But
okay.
I know it's a lot. I'm renting my old primary as a rental unit. And then I have the duplex and then I have the house hack and we just bought a triplex. So we're doing a little bit of midterm, long-term rentals, but yeah.
And were they all burrs? So let me just, is the common denominator the burr? Okay. So where was the duplex? The first property was in where? What was it?
So I was in Montgomery County and that's where my primary was. And it was great. The schools are great, but we just wanted more land and I wanted a house hack and you couldn't do it there. I really wanted someone to help pay for our mortgage. So we found this property in Stafford, which we have friends here, which is about an hour away from where we lived before. But at that same time, we bought the duplex and we bought the new primary. So it was kind of like within a month. It was a little crazy. But the duplex in Baltimore. So we bought it for $109. It was a bank owned, scared to death. It took 3 months to close. I was like, we're never going to get it. And we did. And then I found a whole bunch of contractors. But, I did the whole burr method. And yeah, like I would never have been able to get that property and buy another one if I didn't burr.
Let's go back to the 109 Baltimore. Okay. Yeah. So you said it was a bank-owned property. Let's start there because I know a lot of folks have that question, right? How did you isolate that neighborhood? How did you figure out this was the property and how did you actually zero in on that particular property? What kind of help did you get for that?
That's where do you find that answer, right? So I had 3 realtors that I fired because they were not finding me exactly what I wanted. They didn't understand burr. They didn't understand that I wanted something very distressed that I can add value to, right? And then cash out later. They didn't really get that. So I got a referral from someone else. I was like, I don't know what you're trying to do. So they referred me to someone and he's amazing. So Palak says, I would be on the beach. My realtor would call me and say, hey, I got a property for you. Do you want me to just put an offer in? And she said, yes. And I was like, no way. that'll ever happen. No way. I have a realtor now that I can trust him and do that. It's really about the team and the people. Yeah. So he helped me find it. So there were other offers. So I did have to, I think it was for like 90 and I offered 109.
Okay. I need to go back to the realtor, to a real estate agent. You fired 3 and then you got a referral to the one that you have right now. How did you know that this was the one? What did you ask him? Or did he just sort of take the reins and say, all right, this is what you need to do, Kelly?
So he is a investor, number one. So that helped. He knows my mindset. He knows if I walk in a place and there's mold, I'm like, oh, yay, there's mold. And other realtors were like, oh, you don't want that. You don't want to deal with that. And I'm like, yes, I do. So he did take the reins. He's like, I know you're new. And he didn't even look at me as I was a woman or not. He just treated me as another investor. And I was like, oh, so I felt amazing. So he did guide me in the directions. And he said, these house, you look at only these properties. And we looked at like 12 in one day. And I put offers on 3 and I got the 1. But again, it was the bank owned. So it took 3 months to get it, which I was like scared that I would have lost it. But yeah, once you find that realtor, because I have the good team, I have the good realtor. I use the same construction company.
Oh, construction company, right. From the first one.
Which is the property manager.
Okay.
So yeah. And also I wanted to say something about that. So they're managing my last property, the duplex.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, Kelly, by the way, we have a leak in the bathroom. I'll let you know how much it's going to be. And I was like, okay, just let me know. Call me up. He never called me. 3 weeks later, I was like, hey, what happened to the leak? He goes, oh, well, we caulked it wrong and we fixed it for free because we did the job. I said, oh, I love you. So that's the only great thing, like getting a combo team like that. If your construction company does property management, maybe use them.
Yeah, right.
He did the work. So yeah, that worked out for me. So, that's what I'm using now. And I just feel so comfortable with them.
Right.
Yeah. So
and also I feel like if they know that you are serious about continuing, then it really is a relationship that will grow and everyone grows at some point in the future.
That's exactly it. They even told me today or yesterday I went and they said, oh, I have somebody that has private money. If you're ready to buy like a small apartment complex. I said, yes, I am. Yeah, I'm ready.
I was like, yes, please.
Property or anything, but I'm like, yes, I'm ready. And I'm not, but I am. You have to like fake it till you make it. And I want an apartment, like even a small one at 12 or 15. Yeah, like let's do it. So
people say to you who've known you for a while, like, who are you? Do people say that to you?
Actually, some of my family, they're like, oh, so you're almost done with this new one. So then you're done, right? And that's it. And I said, no, this is actually my life now. I'm an investor. Like I want to keep going. And they just don't understand why we want to take on like debt, right? It's a lot of debt. So it scares them. Like older generations, they only want to pay off things. They don't want debt. It scares them. Like not even car debt. Me, I look at debt as they're paying it off, not me, the renters. And I can cash out. And then every couple of years, I can pull more out. So it's just insane. Like when you change your mindset on debt, right? We were taught a certain way. Money's bad. So
powerful. Yeah. Okay. This was so helpful. So I want to ask about the portfolio program. Yeah. How has it helped you do all of this? Now, I mean, Palak is amazing. Palak and Niti are both amazing. I don't think they were with you while you were talking to the contractors. How did the program help you though? I mean, it really did. I know that you've said in the past that it has. How did it help you do this?
It really did. It mainly, I was in that analysis paralysis, which I know she says over and over and over again, but it's a real thing. You just keep looking at properties, finding the best deal. That's not the best deal. That's not the best deal. You put it in a chart. It's not working. The numbers don't work. Like I was just stuck on finding this perfect deal and it wasn't out there. And also I was like, oh, I need properties off market. That's all I wanted. I wanted off market properties. And my realtor's like, why? There's so much on the MLS that people think it's just dirt and they don't want it. Take it. Like you can make money on it. You just have to take a chance on it. So getting out of that mindset of analysis paralysis was like huge. Palak just changed it. And she does like also life lessons. Like she makes you feel like this is the right choice. If you really want what you want and what is your why, right? Mine is generational wealth for my kids. If you really want that, go for that. So it was Yeah, it was life changing. Like I want to recommend a program to everybody. If I didn't take it, I wouldn't have taken that next step. I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have. I was too scared. I was. Yeah, losing money or whatever. I was scared.
You've said so many amazing things. Would you say that there's one or two lessons that for those who have gone through the program or just starting the program need to like focus in on and
Yeah.
that have helped you as you're continuing to grow?
Definitely your neighborhood. So if you want to go out of state or in state, finding a good realtor, because obviously, like I said, I fired 3, but then I didn't give up. I was like, I have to find a good one. And I did. And then he helped me find my area. It's your neighborhood and your realtor are number one. And Nitty helped with that a little bit also because we did narrow down some areas. So yeah, your realtor is the most important, I think.
Yeah. No, and you've been so clear and helpful in how you can find one and kind of to know if that person is the right one for you.
Exactly.
Um,
Like this BRRRR method, like a lot of people don't know what that is. So
finding someone who knows it is then like, that's my person or what is your goal as you're creating generational wealth? You've got 7 doors, I think you said at the beginning, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your goal?
So eventually my 5-year goal is to have tiny homes, container homes, like a tiny home village. I love that. I love recycling and anything green. And also people are downsizing. They don't want all this huge house anymore. And why should they? You have to clean it. So once your kids go out or you don't have kids, like you just get a great container, some yard, maybe a garden. That is the future for me. I can see it for other people, like micro mini homes is a lot of people are doing, but I like the container homes. So the container home villages are my goal. But my next step, as I'm talking to these, property manager and all these other people, is to buy a apartment complex. That's going to happen before the year's out. So I'm excited about that one. Oh yeah, it's it. I'm doing it no matter what. I'm scared to death, but I'm doing it. It's on my vision board.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. So I have a vision board and I have a goals list. And I can look at it every day. And if on my goals list, I've been able to check off things. And if I see that checked off, I feel like, oh, I've accomplished something. So yeah. One of those is retire my husband. That's within the 5 years. But yeah, it's exciting. Like you have to have the goals and the visions. If not, you're just going to be stuck where you are. So
you're so inspiring, honestly. Your vision is so clear, right? It is so clear. There was something I wanted to hone in on though. You were talking about sort of the fear, like you're scared to death, right? I mean, I'm scared for you thinking about it, but that's not actually the point. The point is, how do you get past that fear? How are you, accepting the fear and moving forward? Because if your next goal is a large apartment complex, I don't know how many doors that would be, but larger than what you have right now.
Right.
How do you get past that fear to get that and make it happen?
So I'm a control freak and I was always like, how can I learn how to do this? How can I get my real estate license? How can I learn bookkeeping? And I'm not good at any of those things. I'm good at what I do. So I figured out how can I who can I find? Who? So there's people that are really good at that stuff and they want to partner with you. Obviously it's like, oh, I'm giving up equity or I'm giving up money, but you're never going to be able to grow on your own if you don't find the right people. So you have to find the right people. That's it. And then it is scary, but again, you could fail or not, but if you don't try, you're not even going to fail. So just do it. Just do it. You just jump in.
You bring up a really good point because I would consider you part of the real estate industry in a sense, just because of your interior design background. You were kind of in real estate,
right?
The shoulder industry, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like someone looking in might say, well, she already knows it. She could have done it on her own.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have done it on your own?
No way. No way. I was, like I said, scared and I had all this knowledge and I was like, oh, I can do this. I do interior design, but all I do really is picking out products. Yeah, I do space planning and floor planning, but it's not the same as taking a distressed house that a hoarder lives in and doing everything brand new. That's completely different. It's so involved and you're in budgets at like 100,000. So yeah, no, you're not ripping out an old kitchen, putting in a new one. Yeah, I just couldn't do it on my own. I I had that fear factor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of how much or the value of your portfolio? Is that something that you've calculated already in 18 months that you've been able to accumulate?
Yep, 2.4.
What?
2.4 million. I know. I was like, oh my gosh. When I actually started doing that, I was like, oh. And before I just had a primary house and I was just comfortable and scared. And now I have 2.4 in 18 months. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's real. It's insane. And it's going to be, you talk to me next year, it's going to be double, triple.
Can't wait. I can't wait to hear. You had said earlier that you would wholeheartedly recommend the portfolio program. How would you recommend it to someone who is maybe in a position like you were? How would you recommend this program to somebody else?
So basically, kind of reiterate that. If you're stuck and you're like, I have all this knowledge, but I'm just looking for the best property, right? The best deal. Like it's all about the deal, they say. Don't do that. Just get into the program, get knowledge. Like you'll learn spreadsheets, you'll learn your neighborhood, you'll learn so much knowledge about even lenders, like what questions to ask and what not. And you just learn so much that you can't even read in books. It's all put together and it's one method. The program does help people get out of they're being stuck though. It really does. The knowledge.
I'm just going to ask you one more question, Kelly. Or ask you to fill in the blanks of this phrase that I have everybody fill in the blanks for. It is before the program, now I.
Yeah. So before I've said it many times, but before the program, I was scared. I would not have done it on my own. And now I'm trying to buy a 12 to 15 unit apartment building. So in 18 months, that's all it's been since my first property I bought. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm on this train and I can't stop. So it's insane. I just have so much fire. It's great. Yeah. It changed me.
I love it. And congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.